Now, Ajax director of football Marc Overmars has left the club after admitting he sent inappropriate messages to women working at the club. Let's get more on this with the Dutch football expert, Marcel van der Kraan. Very good morning. Afternoon we are now. Wow, time flies. Good afternoon to you, Marcel. OK, can you give us the background to this story?
Well, for a start, it's a bombshell, absolutely, in the Netherlands, because Marc Overmars is the most successful football director Ajax has ever had for 10 years, making mega profits, mega success, 4 league titles, reaching very, very far rounds in the Champions League. And to find out that this man has resigned because of inappropriate messages to employees of the club, female employees, as we understand at this moment, is a shock. It's a shock to everyone. It happened last night at 11 o'clock. And it was an initiative from Marc Overmars himself.
Yeah, he said he wasn't aware that he crossed the boundaries of acceptable behaviour until he was confronted about it, in his word, in recent days. How surprising is that, considering the role he's in?
Well, it's very difficult at this stage to see what the complete size of the messages is, what kind of people have been involved, and what he has actually done. Funny enough, in this stage in Holland, a mega scandal has erupted in January at a TV program by ITV and by Talpa, where men have sent very inappropriate messages to women in the Netherlands and people who were on that floor working. And maybe in the light of that, people have come forward, because it's a big Me Too scandal in the entire Netherlands. And what we expect at this moment is that women are going to come forward either to police or to the board of Ajax, including former Man United goalkeeper Edwin van der Sar, and that they will field their complaints against him. But he must have been aware of the size of the scandal himself. Otherwise, he would not resign so immediate in a very, very successful period of the club. It must also be serious enough for him to be aware that this would create a bombshell in the Netherlands again, and his position was untenable. I understand that people have looked at it in a very short time to see if there was any way if they could keep him on board of the club, but it was all too serious stuff to do that.
So what I'm hearing from you, Marcel, is how much are their fears now that there's issues within the culture of the club, and are you then therefore expecting perhaps more women to come forward who's received these texts and come out and say what's happened?
Well, that is exactly the big fear within the club, within the football world, and in the corporate world, because it is a kind of a follow-up of the Me Too scandal, which I earlier mentioned to you. And now for Ajax, this could have devastating effects to the club, to the season. And of course, the safety of the women is far more important than any football result at this moment. And this is what we see in the Netherlands, that all the reactions are towards the women who are the victims of Marc Overmars' behaviour. The only problem at this moment is that what is actually the size of the scandal from his own handlings, from his own moves within the club of Ajax.
Marcel, you're quite right that we have to keep the women at the forefront of any debate here, and they're vitally important to this. But I wonder how damaging is his departure. You mentioned the amount of money and success he brought into Ajax. How damaging this is for the club.
Well, indeed, if we just speak aside of the damage to the women, the damage to the club is also massively already. Ajax is a club, the only club in the Netherlands which is listed at the stock market. They are in a very comfortable position in the league. The manager who they have, Erik ten Hag, is a very much wanted man in Europe. And only at Christmas, 4 or 5 weeks ago, Erik ten Hag said, "My future depends on Marc Overmars. I go where he goes. I only want to work where he's working." Now, Ten Hag has already declined a number of approaches, including Tottenham Hotspur. He's been linked to Barcelona, Manchester United, Bayern Munich before, and he's been able to say no to all of them because he kept wanting to work with Marc Overmars. Well, you can all see what's going to happen now. Everybody, the fans, the board of the club, they fear that in the summer, Erik ten Hag will go. So it could, be a case of losing that, not just their most successful football director ever, but also one of their best coaches they've ever had in the summer.
Well, so troubling times. Thank you very much for joining us.